in my grandiose, I decided to change the entire calendar. One of my big beefs being starting the new year in January. When it's cold, you already have Christmas. So you already have a big time holiday.
Right.
Why are we going to have another one within a week of it? Why not move it towards now? We have the weather getting better. Tomorrow, we're going to have a 70-degree day. It's New Year's Eve, February 28th tonight. By the time this goes out to the audience, it'll be, let's start March, war season, ready to go. March, spring on into summer. This, to me, seems like a much better time to celebrate a new year.
Just change the calendar.
If I was going to do a celebration like New York City, I wouldn't have it in the middle of a city.
No.
It's so polluted. It's so polluted. There's so many people jammed. Think about
Is that the issue?
How dumb is it that they drop a ball? So you all huddle into this place, and the thing that you're watching counting down gets less easy to see as it gets closer to its end goal. To the end, it's like, okay, only if you're right around it, you actually see the ball hit the ground. But all the people from far away, it's very anticlimactic. Why don't you have the ball rise?
I wonder what it was.
It's just cheap gravity. Back then, they probably didn't have the technology.
Cheap gravity.
If I was going to have mine...
That's probably a good theory.
2.8 meters per second square?
I'd have mine Woodstock style, out in a farm pasture where you can have unlimited amount of people, and the ball is going to rise. And then once it gets to the top, it's going to explode into a bunch of fireworks.
Okay.
Or maybe a giant hot air balloon gets puffed
From
out.
China.
And once it gets... Biden will shoot out of the sky. But either way...
That'll be the fireworks.
I think we just reverse the whole thing. And have it so instead of dropping the ball, you're raising the ball.
And have New Year's Eve on February 28th or 29th on leap years.
Exactly. Which would be exciting. Every 4 years, you get a special, unique celebration.
Okay, I mean, I get behind it.
It's built for this.
I've heard you talk about this enough. I mean, I'm sold. How do you legislate calendar changes? Is that possible?
They call it the Gregorian calendar. It's my name.
Is that what they call it?
I think I have some level of control over things named after me.
Okay.
There's the Julian calendar and the Gregorian calendar.
Is that okay? That's an actual thing.
I'm pretty sure. And we just have I think Catholic tradition. I'm not certain on this at all. This is why I'm changing it, because it's all arbitrary. If we're just going off of this is a dead time. There's nothing. We're just about to get into March Madness. Wouldn't that be a fun way to kick off the year?
Do you think March Madness tournament is a good idea at the cafe?
I think it's a good idea.
Slide in some diner talk.
I think it could be.
If I get like 5 or 6 TVs set up. I think that'd be cool.
I think it could be. But I think we'd also want to have a bracket.
Yeah.
Like if we have, but how difficult would it be for us to talking about it on camera?
Stuff. Yeah, that is true. Well,
what's the big deal with talking about it on camera?
Because it's illegal.
What's illegal?
Like taking money
starting
to
a bracket.
Payout. Yeah.
Why can't you do that? Maine Bowling Center does it for the tournaments. All the bowling tournaments, they take money and they pull it for the winners.
I think it's one of those things.
It's a tournament. It's legal.
You do it until you get caught. No one's going to turn you in if they're all.
They advertise it big and proud on the signs.
I don't even know if it's getting caught. Like you think, only if you keep only if you take a cut. I think it would.
Yeah. It's only if you take a cut. Jimmy says he doesn't take a cut of the money.
I was going to say we could do a special where everybody gets a drawing, where they get one out of the 64 teams. The first 64 customers that come in all will get one seat.
You could do an entry
fee. If that team
fee.
wins, they get a $100 gift card.
You could do an entry fee and just take part of it as like the entry fee, and then the rest is prize money for the winners. There's nothing illegal about that. It's not gambling. That's not gambling.
But even doing like a 50-50, you're not really supposed to do unless you have a small games of chance
That's
license.
the thing. It's not small games of chance. You don't need a casino license. You just need that small games of chance.
When you can partner with somebody that has it, and like I've done that.
Why can't you get it?
If Alec was going that route, he'd probably get a slot machine too and start taking lottery tickets.
I don't know how hard they are to get. I thought you had to have some kind of like
you don't.
Like clubs can do it, like anybody that's like an organization, but I think just like a regular for-profit business can't because it's.
But Ketter's has it.
Well, they have slot machines. That's a whole different thing.
Wait, you seriously have to have a license to do that? Mm-hmm. God, this country is so stupid.
This might just be a state issue.
You need one to sell alcohol too. So, we are kind of at a crossroads with the cafe right now. I'll slip this in. I'll let this little, it's a little financial. But like we're at a point now that I've had the building for a year, so the bank's kind of like willing to lend more money.
Oh yeah, okay.
So now it's like, do I just take the money and use it toward like operating expenses because it's tough, to do it the way I'm doing it, which is basically like week to week, or do I like double down?
But that puts you in more of a hole.
Or I could double down and go for the liquor license and take a loan out and get that, and then I feel like that's a safer bet but that's just a lot more work. So now it's.
But you're completely changing what your business is at that
right.
point.
That the whole model changes. At
Everything
that point.
changes. You're a bar then. Like that's a bar then.
Yeah.
Let's flash back a year.
Yeah.
When you first decided to do this, would getting the liquor license through a loan have still been on the table?
Probably not.
So it had to be like you've proven over a year
Yeah.
that you're successful.
Right, that's what they wanted to see, some kind of track record. And this is no secret. I'm not like letting anything out of the bag by saying these kind of things, but actually I think this is important. Like a lot of people just think they can get a loan. You know, like you know, they could just I got to do a bank and get a loan. It's like no, you need to have collateral, you need to have a credit record. I mean, I had such a hard time getting a loan for this building, and I bought the building. And the reason was for a couple of reasons. COVID was definitely one of them because they were like, "You want to start a restaurant after COVID? Are you crazy?" You know, type of thing. You know,
We had that episode on here.
Yeah, no, we've talked about this in the past, but basically they wouldn't loan me anything above like the building. So even things like working capital that I wanted like to start the business with, they wouldn't even loan me that. They were like, "You have to pony up the cash for that. Like, you have to be responsible enough and like put enough. You have to put some money in." And I think that's I think that's like a myth about loans for some reason. I don't know. Like you have to put your own money in. But the way I look at it is, yes, I'm giving you some money to get like a lot more back. So why would I only ask for like a part of it? Like why wouldn't I just get the whole?
Well, they're looking at it as an investment in you. So you have to like be invested in yourself.
That's what I've had the building a year. Yeah. So they were like, okay, you made it this long. We're willing to do a little bit more. What do you use this one strike match for? You get like one strike of the match, you know, like are you gonna be able to make a fire with it or not? So
I would go liquor license.
I'm leaning towards it. Like if we get,
well, I mean, I wouldn't borrow the money for it really, but
yeah, that's a much
the liquor
longer
license is a cool
road,
idea there.
And you have to get them. I mean, that's
what's eyeball money is. So you'd have to put out what kind of down payment for the liquor license?
Probably something in like the $10,000 to $20,000 range.
And that's for a value of the liquor license is worth 70, 80.
80 to 100.
And portable within the county.
Yes, they hold value. They could go. It could go up in value. I mean, they probably will.
They will go up in value.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like this is an asset worth trying to attain.
Unless we elect a libertarian who just makes.
In PA.
Well, we'd have to elect a bunch of them. We have to elect a bunch of them.
I gamble we're gonna have screwy liquor laws probably for the next decade, to say the least. Yeah.
Like, but I guess the point is these things are valuable.
But now compare that to getting a pizza oven.
Right. Yeah.
That's affordable. You could almost do that without taking a loan.
I don't know. Again, to do anything right, I still think I need a loan. Like to move in any direction, I think is going to require money. Let's put.
But how much, as far as profitability, how much value do you think the pizza?
Why don't you just find an investor?
Well, pizza oven's only like $3 or $4 grand.
Why don't?
That's the difference, you know. So it's like okay, you know.
Instead of
the
borrowing,
just doing nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just continuing to maybe get a little loan to try and find another employee.
Right.
To stabilize
having to be a pizza guy.
Yeah. Instead of borrowing, why don't you just find an investor?
Are you willing to invest, Craig?
I mean, I've never been pitched it, but
I think Craig would.
Investors are hard to find.
I think Craig would like to. Craig would like to get the dining room converted into a full-time event center if he was going to be involved. I think.
I mean, I'm trying to let something like that happen naturally. Like, I think it is a little overt to just go out there and start asking people for money. Like, I don't feel comfortable doing that with my own family, let alone like people that I don't know or even friends.
Well, see,
especially when you're dipping into family for labor.
There are people out there that
I took advantage of my dad a little bit. He did help.
Steven to work full time this weekend.
Yeah.
Asking your family for money is a lot different than finding somebody out there there's people out there who just want to invest in businesses and grow their portfolios. Those people want to have a little chunk of your business.
But again, I was a rookie doing this. I mean, we were talking about this off the air.
Yeah, but that was
another consideration the bank didn't like. They're like, you never did this before.
If I were the bank and I listened to our podcast when we had basically a fight over this, because you never cook. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until a week before that you had Chris.
Right.
So the whole big debate was, Alec, you can't just create a cook out of nothing.
And then it's just like sort of manifested.
Uh-huh. And then it's like when you were saying, well, you'll end up working. It's like, I'm not working. It's like, okay, I'll end up working a little bit.
Greg's been the longest.
Yeah, I still haven't missed a shift.
No, you haven't.
I dropped my first glass last week. Tiny glass.
Yeah,
tiny glass.
Honestly, so how long has it been now? How long have you had the?
Well, I've had the building for a year. Technically,
when did you open?
May.
In May?
Yeah. So we do have
9 months. We're almost on 9 months.
We'll have to have we need to do like a celebratory 1 year episode.
Definitely.
May. Will it be nice out of May? We could do it on the patio.
Well, once summer opens up, the patio's in play.
Right.
We have 8 food truck days as opposed to 6.
Yeah.
Last time around.
Yeah, there's less food trucks. Yeah.
So,
well, that's the thing. With
there's more food truck days, less food trucks to compete with.
Yeah, so it should be a good summer. And that's the thing is like I could just like take this loan.
Employees are easier to find when everyone comes back from college.
Yeah,
when school is out,
and we can get ready for summer, and I can like hire enough people and do it like properly.
If we want to do a redo of the menu,
right.
we can do a different initiative.
Maybe look at getting that pizza oven. Try to do some different things like that.
Doesn't the borrowing part scare you though? Like, so the thing with
but it's a necessary part of doing business. Like the loans never. Like my dad is scared of debt. And it's like, I'm scared of it. Like, I don't want to get trapped in this debt hole. But at the same time, it's like, to be successful, I don't have any money. Like, that's my only option. So you got to go into debt. Like, I don't know.
No matter how bad the economy would get for me, right? My company cannot be taken from me. I'd have to lay off an employee. But everything under the company name is paid for. Like nobody can take anything.
You're in a really good position.
Doesn't that
afford to do that?
But like, doesn't that scare you that like a bad year you could potentially lose
a bad week? I mean, like we're doing this
February
week.
February's not
not
a good month.
February's not kind to us. I mean,
so if you keep your debt ratio lower, doesn't that like give you more leeway? Like if you went, like I just would recommend. I'm recommending exploring a route of like
the thing is
other than
the
borrowing.
Thing is, I have equity in the building. That was the one good thing is I bought the building. So I have equity in it, and it's just like basically I'm just like tapping into that. I'm not really going into any new debt if you look at it like that. I'm just kind of taking back what I already gave a little bit. So
getting the liquor license though would be
that would be moving into some debt. But again, a more comfortable position actually because with the liquor license, you're not guaranteed to do anything.
And you have that resale value. I think that is more of sustainable value than the location.
Yeah. Because you could build up the business to be worth something. Like you could say it's worth $350,000 with a liquor license, or $400,000. Now you can take that back to the bank and even get more leverage. So,
the thing with the liquor license, the only risk I see is
Chris
drinking all the liquor
license. He has one bad night, went down the whole shift. You can just imagine watching the video in the morning of him going bottle to bottle to bottle.
And he lives upstairs.
Just taking a little bit, thinking he's like getting away with it.
Now I have two problems I see with it. The only other problem I would see would be potentially like not having control of possibly what clientele comes in.
Oh yeah,
because you could end up being a dive bar without out of your control. That's the only risk because those bars don't make as much money.
I was concerned about that in the previous episode, and actually after the comedy night,
feel better about it.
Unrestricted BYOB, if you're not doing a cover charge, to me still sounds dangerous. But if we have a liquor license and we're just carding people like you're supposed to be, that intersection is secure. Like there were cameras on every angle. Yeah. The story I had for the Chris update moving in, so he's officially staying up there during nights, and he had his new lady friend in. Carrie. Well,
new character.
They get it was one of those
in this book we call life.
They met. They met on the internet. When she came in to meet him for the first time, she came in with her mother.
Yeah,
who's like 70.
Yeah.
And I was the only one working. And they were like, apparently, like, Chris talks on the phone for like 3-4 hours a night.
With her?
All kind.
Yeah,
He's just
random girls.
Yeah.
Random girls.
Well,
wait, does he really any of these girls good looking?
This girl's real. He's managed to hook one. He's managed.
A scale of 1 to 10, what do you rate her?
I don't subject women to that rating.
Oh my god!
But there's a lot to love. There's a lot to love. There's a lot to love.
Okay,
there's a lot to love. She's nice.
She's nice. I mean,
I have to have a picture of what kind of girls going home with him.
She's splitting a car. She's splitting a car with her mom, and Chris doesn't have a car. So this already makes for an awkward.
Yeah.
Like when she stays with Chris, she stays at basically the whole place the whole time. So it's like
was the one and only time
she's coming down mid shift. But so they go. They're getting the baby making music that time.
Wait, in the middle of the day during the...
No, this is after. This is for like a Friday.
You're still there?
Saturday night, I think it is. No. This is Saturday night. This is after hours.
Yeah, it's after
This
hours.
is after hours. They're just getting it on.
Is he telling you this story?
First he doesn't show us a picture.
Okay.
It's a picture of a broken bed.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just,
they broke the bed.
But they didn't break it while having sex, though. I want to clarify that point.
I couldn't figure that out.
No, he admitted to me out. I think he liked it.
That's the way. And I wasn't further questioning. I was like, okay, this is.
They were just sitting on the bed.
And it broke.
How does that affect the mood? Well, so Chris, he goes on. He's gonna get milk cartons. His logic is so he goes running down the stairs in like his underwear.
Yeah, grabs milk cartons.
And all of a sudden, here's a bang outside.
Oh,
there's a car accident while he's down on the first floor. There's a car accident outside the liquor store. Somebody hit someone in front of the
liquor store.
Yeah, but it was that club.
Oh, yeah, American Legion.
The American Legion. Someone parked the American Legion, gets hit by someone from the liquor store. Chris runs out, gets the license plate, runs into the liquor store, and starts screaming the license plate numbers. So it's like, we're like 8 o'clock at night. At this point, he's pretty drunk. He's running without his shirt on, just shouting numbers.
He's in the liquor store without his shirt on?
In the liquor store. He just was written. He saw the license plate. He wants them to know. And they're like not writing it down. And he's screaming, write it down. Write it down. Yeah. AFW 721. And it's like they have no way of knowing what's going on.
They don't know there's just a wreck?
You hear a bang engine. I don't know.
Anything.
It could have been anything. That's right. I don't know what condition.
By the way, I had a very Jeanette moment the other day because my truck doesn't work. We were talking about that before the show. And then I had to jump it every time I need to move it. So I had it in front of the cafe after we moved some of the Chris's stuff, and it wouldn't start. It's a manual, so you can like pop the clutch in a manual if you get it going like fast enough. So it's raining too. I have the door open. I'm pushing it down Clay Avenue, trying to get enough speed to pop the clutch. I don't. The truck stalls like right in the middle of the street, right in the intersection. Then I have to like push it out of the way. It was just like. That was my Jeanette moment the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And then I had to go get my car and then turn it around on Clay Avenue and jump it like right in the middle of everything. So anyways.
You're just blending right in.
I was just Jeanette moment.
You becoming Jeanette.
Yeah. Now Erie. I identified with Erie when I lived up there. I mean, there was like a do-it-yourself, like work with your hands, like kind of, like nothing really needs to be perfect. Just make sure it works kind of attitude. And it's like, that's Jeanette, I mean, that's... there's a line in there Jeanette. Somewhere,
Erie was also voted the drunkest, most depressed town.
Yes. Oh, everybody drank. That was why everything was fast, too. Most of the time, people were just wasted. They didn't care.
I've never been in Erie not drunk. I've never gone up there.
I went to college there, and I could probably say the same thing.
You got it on the lake, you drink?
It's a great drinking town.
Yeah.
That's why I miss it. That's the appeal to Erie.
We have any more diner talk besides?
We're trying to do another comedy night, so March 31.
Yes, as long as Craig's not stealing
talent.
Yeah, for the Call Here and Foul Interview podcast.
Yeah. Calling it.
So we had a successful one last time. I'm hoping to have another one.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'm
excited. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. I want that to be our thing.
Events or
no events? Yeah, more we had a whole brainstorming session. Actually, we can talk about that a little bit, maybe, of like things to do because that's what was real. You don't need to be open Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. If you have like 3 or 4 events a month, then you cover yourself. Yeah. So it's like
Sobus has been doing that with Sundays.
Yes,
and like you open early or when you have some event planned. When you don't,
this is a big burp.
You don't. When summer comes, things can change. You can incorporate the patio, but until that is feasible.
Yeah, we were talking about what's the game? Cornhole. Like doing a cornhole league.
Yeah.
A dart league. Like something you could do within the space. The March Madness kind of party was one of them because those first like couple of days, like that first weekend of March Madness is great because there's just like games.
If Penguins make playoff hockey,
we could do like watch parties for that. That would be a good idea.
If
Pitt
March Madness.
Well, that's what I was like. We don't have to do the whole March Madness. We could just have like a Pitt watch party. Yeah. So that's a good. We should do that. We could do West Virginia too.
That's the next game. $20 ticket.
Yeah.
We get wings. And pizza.
We'll do bar food.
Wings, pizza.
Yeah.
All you can eat. We just keep serving the stuff.
Somebody write it down out there in the ether. That's what we're doing. Doing it.
Yeah, that's what we do. Got the show. We got.
I think sporting events are good.
Yeah.
Especially because Sobus isn't. Your projector.
Are you saying the pick game for?
Because Sobus doesn't want to watch TV.
They don't want sports.
Well, okay.
They're above sports at Sobus.
We'll take the sports.
Apparently,
I'll take the sports.
We'll do sports.
Johnny's Wife's Place did just fine when they featured sports for a while.
Right, exactly.
Are you saying the pick game for March Madness, like basketball game?
Yeah,
that's good.
Even the ACC tournament.
Friday, Saturday, and Saturday nights. If you're going to watch them, we're not going to have time to set up a bracket, but everyone's going to do one. And they're gonna want to watch
They're gonna
watch the
watch
game
games,
somewhere.
yeah. Whether we set up a bracket or not.
BYOB has a
BYOB,
nice appeal to that
We
kind
hit them
of.
with the buffet that covers that makes a decent cover price and that.
Put the $20 so you don't get in. This ain't no funky reggae party.
Yeah.
Pay at the door.
Right. Pay
Did you-
yourself,
Set up a door. I'll work the door. That can be my specific job.
Yeah.
Is keeping.
That'll be your next job next time.
You could be the ticket guy.
Yeah.
You learned how to do it at the movie
I'm
theater.
totally
it's
fine.
on your resume.
I kind of like it.
That's like you should have been up there taking tickets.
And I would lump that on my resume.
And you
too.
probably should have cleaned up the theater afterwards.
I would lump that resume. Well, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we took care of it. I would lump that in my resume to security. I'm a bouncer. I'm a door.
You're a bouncer now.
Yeah, I'm a bouncer.
Gotta show
yeah.
off the gods.
I'll take
Very intimidating.
Working out. We're trying to get there.
Yeah.
Speaking of working out the guns,
Aren't we all?
I had before we go to that. Speaking, since you're gonna get into like more
it's
serious
disorganized.
stuff.
It's disorganized. We got to watch it.
Did you guys see the Pirates played an extra inning?
Okay, let's do base. Do you want to do baseball rules?
Sure.
Or
Is
not
this
an
one
extra
of the-
inning, but they played the bottom of the inning. Who were they
I
playing
did not
against?
see this.
I didn't see the exact protocol, but I do know
The umpires walked off the field because the Pirates won, but they still finished and played the final in the spring training. Yeah,
Wait,
like the two teams just went out and just played for the rest of the bottom half.
Even though the game was over.
Yeah, even though the Pirates already won, the umpires walked off the field and everything.
Really?
Yeah, you can look it
That's
up right now.
Astounding.
I didn't know what I'd search.
Pirates play bottom of the
I think
ninth.
They played the Orioles today.
Just
That's
Google Pirates play bottom of the ninth.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna
He has a
I'll
phone
look
right
into
in
I
front
it.
of him.
do,
He
but
could do this
I
right
know
now.
that it's not going to come
I
up.
don't
Yes,
wanna
I
do-
d-
I
I
don't
swear
wanna
it's gonna
do-
come
They
up.
I
played
hate
the
to
bottom
do
of the
these
ninth like
live, 'cause then I'm gonna have to
10,000
read
times
it.
in the past
No,
decade.
the Pirates won 7 to something. And
This is,
We got the facts. We
I
can
just saw
react to it.
I'll go.
That's crazy. That's my reaction. That's crazy.
Alec, do you want to run through what the new rules are while I search for this?
There's a couple new rules. I don't even really understand them all. The biggest one's the clock. So
the batting in the batter's box.
Yeah, and like there's a second rules for everything.
That's stupid. I like
So-
how slow paced baseball is.
I watched a preseason game the other day, and it was
Pirates win bottom of the ninth. That's what I'm looking up.
No, Pirates play bottom of the ninth after winning. No umpires or something. Like those were the key words in the thing I saw.
Put no umpires in quotes.
You
That
could put
way-
like Pirates bottom of the ninth, no umpires. Like
Yeah.
that will pop up what I'm talking about.
the pitch.
You
clock,
got to learn how to use Google.
Okay, no umps when Orioles and Pirates play. Okay.
Yeah, so bottom of the ninth, they already won, and then
Craig
they.
gets one right to start the new year. How about that? Let's.
I mean, I believed them.
It's I just thought it was interesting because it's preseason. The people are trying to get a chance. They all went out and like, well, we still want to put our talents on display for the coaches. You know,
suppose, but that's just I don't.
spring training doesn't matter.
You're still in a league. They still keep track of the wins.
They
and
keep
the
track of it,
losses.
but
I mean,
but the starters play the first
they
3
crown
innings.
a winner of the Grapefruit League every year. I actually think it's interesting. I wish more leagues did it. Like football could solve the XFL thing they're trying to do right now if they just did this. They could do like a longer.
But just let the
preseason.
XFL do it.
No, they could just play a longer preseason. Start them in like August or July.
Yeah, but then they're
and play,
putting their
like,
players
6
at
games.
risk. The whole point is the owners do not want to put their players at
I
risk.
understand that, but you're gonna have the XFL anyways, so you're gonna have scrubs trying to play for games.
It'd have to be preseason.
What's really the difference?
But I mean, the 4-game
Yeah,
preseason still kind of sucks.
That's what the XFL is. They're
Why are
trying to
you
be a
looking in
sub-league,
disgust?
So.
Yeah, because this is a non-story. Craig, you are right, but it was just both coaches, just like a rec baseball game.
Yeah,
It ended in the top of the ninth. The Orioles grounded out
That's what I said.
to
Yeah.
end the game, and the Pirates were like, "Well, if you want to test out your closer pitcher, we'll bat through our inning and get a couple people."
Yeah. So at the I was just saying it's cool at the
I just
major
can't
league
believe it
level.
That's not a
happened at the
rule.
major
I guess
league
that's
It's not a rule.
No,
No.
oh yeah, no, that's.
I was just saying it's something that happened
Sure,
in the
okay.
spring training.
Yeah, I don't.
I thought it
don't
was
mind.
kind of interesting that they.
Okay.
And I think maybe in spring training they should do that because you got players trying to put out.
I was
their
thinking
talent,
there
you know?
there was.
What
a-
if they get hurt though, Craig? In
Well,
the
no-
bottom of the ninth.
well,
huh?
no-
Well, I
What
guess
happens
you
then?
have the same point because then you just play the backups in the NFL. So you're right. I got that.
But there was a game in the preseason for baseball though where it ended because of a shot clock violation,
Yes.
where they caught a batter out because he spent
Yeah.
too much time out of the batter's
Bottom
box,
of the ninth.
and that ended the game.
It was one of those
But-
classic situations. Bottom of the ninth. I think the bases were loaded.
But it's no big deal because it's spring
2
training. But
outs.
the question is, what if that happens during the season?
Exactly.
That's what the worry is.
Exactly.
Spring training's for
Exactly.
trying out the rules. They should reverse the rule.
Well, and they tried it out in AAA. Like that's what all the players coming up have experiences for a season in
Okay.
the underleagues.
and I'm confused at
So-
the pickoffs. now that the pitcher's on a clock, apparently
Yes.
they don't really have a pickoff opportunity.
Yes.
Because unless you're a lefty,
that's my big
and
point.
you can't see the base, a righty is never going to turn around and waste the shot clock to throw to first, which is going to allow the base runner to lead off farther.
What I don't like about
but
it.
I want to see more steals. Steals have been
but
over the past 20. Like
I've heard nobody talk about that though. I was going to bring up that point before I did. You did.
I think
Ichiro to it, and
Barry Bonds back in the day was a burglar.
Yeah.
There was a part in
of
the
the
90s
game.
and early 2000s before the
game.
steroids kicked in so much that stealing was more.
So I don't really particularly like the pitch clock because there's second rules. After 8 seconds, you can do this, and before 9 seconds,
does it not
you
reset
can't
when you go
step
to pick
out.
off? What happens with the clock?
Oh, I'm assuming it resets at that point, but you would have to make a clear move. You couldn't like stare somebody down.
We
for
could
like
get
3
some
or 4
bulk.
seconds.
Could increase bulks.
So if you stare somebody down and you go below the 8 second mark,
Kind of like having that be a new addition to the offensive skill set. Is having a base runner that is an automatic. If you walk them and you put them on first, they're going to second. Guaranteed, they're that quick. You can't keep them on the base long enough.
They probably want more scoring, like every league.
Yeah,
does.
you want the game
more
to,
stealing.
You want the
more
game
action.
to move faster, and you want more scoring.
No, I watched a couple innings of a preseason game the other day, and the only thing I didn't like about the pitcher was so uncomfortable. He was in this like robot move, and you're getting like huffed and puffed. I mean, like you are actually like
what's the part of the rule that screws up their windup? Because also remember how like when you're not from the stretch.
Yeah, when you're just doing the regular.
Yeah, well now you can balk that way somehow. I saw because the one pitcher's not going to be able to pitch the way he used to pitch.
You can always balk, but if you have a slower delivery than usual, then you just have to retrain yourself to throw like the 3 second mark instead of the 1 second mark. Like I don't know. Like this is where it's just.
And now the shifting.
The shift was the other big thing.
Are they still allowed to shift, or now are they moving a fifth infielder into play?
So
basically
if you want to do the shift like everybody was doing, and you bring like the second baseman over, or you bring the third baseman over. You can't do that anymore. If you want to do that, yes, you have to bring one of the infielders in and play with 2 outfielders,
which should encourage batters that are going against this to learn how to hit against the shift.
Well, batters should have been learning how to bat against the shift in the beginning.
To begin with, but they just went for the home run,
gaping holes on the left side.
But they just figured go for the hit slam. Go for the big hit.
That's why it wasn't really a big deal.
Now in this formation, it's gonna be a value to you pull that left.
Yeah.
You're guaranteed double.
Right.
Work on your speed, you got a triple.
I hated the shift, so I don't mind this rule. If you want to take that gamble and play with 2 outfielders, fine. And that's now part of the game, which I get. But I hated the shift. I'm curious to see how well they'll enforce that. Because you could say the shortstop moving 6 steps to his right for a pull heavy batter. Like people always did that, right? That was always part of the game.
Rec baseball, shift righty,
move left,
lefty,
move right.
yeah.
See, I always thought
infield to a direction or not, but you wouldn't necessarily pull a whole position player out of place, and I think that's the difference.
I honestly didn't ever realize that baseball's rules were that like you had a position. Like I thought people could have stood wherever on the field.
I mean, they could.
I thought it just it just kind of made the most sense to put them where they are.
That's what the shift ended up being.
Right.
They were like, we're not going to have somebody standing as that third base bag on a righty. Doesn't make any sense.
They're never going to pull it across.
Yeah, like
I just put him up the middle, deep in the
I just
outfield,
assume like if this person every single time hits a line drive down first base, you just put every single player at first base.
They also put it.
No, I didn't.
I always just thought you could do that if you chose.
I forgot you didn't play baseball, did you?
Yeah, I played.
Okay.
I just don't remember there being a rule that you actually had to be in like a like there wasn't like a range that a player needed to be in. So like the shift isn't like a play.
But
like it's you're just putting people where you feel it makes sense.
You're creating a range. Like you can't. You can also not be so deep. That was another like one of the weird shift rules they threw in there. You can't be like in the grass if you're an infielder. Like you can only be like within a step of the outer edge or something like that.
They're really trying to make more hits.
Yeah.
That's going to make because that's going to leave the ball because they know to play deeper against certain guys.
They want action.
And that's the final rule change. Apparently in overtime now, in the extra innings.
Yeah, they put somebody on second.
A ghost runner on second base.
What?
The last person to get out in the inning before starts the inning on second base to almost guarantee that offense scores 1 run and put the pitcher starting in a really 0 outs man on second.
That's going to hurt their numbers.
The games were short. Because
but that's going to hurt your pitchers. Like they're trying to keep their ERAs.
I don't think that's right.
This was another rec baseball thing. I mean, we saw this.
This is like defense in the NFL. I don't think they care if it gets shredded.
When you go play a tournament, like if you go like there's 50 teams playing a tournament. I mean, like my sister did this for travel softball, but everybody done baseball. Everybody does this. They have these kind of rules. They'll actually have like hour-and-a-half limits on games because you have to get it done. And there'll be a dead stop. I mean, they will dead stop the game. Hour and a half, whoever's winning at that exact precise moment, the game's over.
So then you get games with pulling pitchers and how long.
And they do this, and they'll put the ghost runner on second because they're just trying to get the game over. I guess, whatever. I hope they don't do it in the playoffs.
Traditionally, if for our audience, the ghost runner in rec baseball was used for your pitcher. When there were 2 outs and your pitcher was going to be going next inning, you could bring the last person to get out, the substitute run for them, so they could practice pitching.
Or a catcher getting ready.
What was it in kickball? When did we use ghost runners in kickball? No, but you didn't have enough players. When you're playing and half of your people are on base, and it's like, well, we don't have enough to have second. We're just going to pair them with the man on first. Right. If he gets a second, then it counts towards third.
One. Yeah, we would do that.
It's odd to bring this into professional
really
sport.
I mean, you have a real runner. I mean, the last out goes out on second in the top of the 10th. You know, but
brings its own strategy, and which that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Is if the game is shorter,
that one doesn't bother
there's more offense. The way the rules are now structured, that's going to allow for strategy changes that might be interesting to see how the different teams make it.
It's part of the game.
So you guys don't like the games that go like 20 innings?
No, because here's
I like if I go to a baseball game, I want it to be long.
No,
like
they shut off alcohol sales in the 7th inning.
Okay, Chris.
You can't smoke a cigarette in the stadium. So already, if I want to, I get in. I don't show up for the first inning because I don't want to get in there to the 4th inning. Get in there at the 4th inning.
First pitch.
I'm in there.
Everyone I know goes before and early. And
why wouldn't you?
Because you can't. There's no way to take a smoke break. All I'm asking is after an hour and a half, I want to walk off.
Park,
you can know what you do is you go to the rotunda and you pace smoke.
Yeah.
You like a shark. You never stand still. You just keep walking them down. You see someone looking like security. You walk back up the rotunda.
I do that Beaver Stadium when I'm smoking.
It's doable if they catch you.
When we're drunk, things happen. Okay.
No, but it's doable if they catch you. They put a little X on your ticket.
Yeah.
So if they catch you again, you can't get access. So I just go and I trade with the non-smokers.
What if your ticket's on your phone? How do they put the X on your ticket?
Oh, I can bamboo. I didn't think about that.
Another random Chris story. He's been in pirate jail before.
Yes, he has.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yes,
like they actually have like a place where they put.
Almost every stadium is a jail.
I didn't know this. Yeah.
Chris
has been in multiple times. Yeah.
What is the story with this?
There's multiple. I don't know. It's basically
he gets bused to the game. He goes over to the casino, gets wasted on free alcohol, and then wanders his way into the game and gets in a fight with a child.
And it's belligerent.
There's not much to it.
But he was also a season ticket holder for like
the bobbleheads. When you walk in now, he's gone to like every
big,
opening game for like 15 years in a row.
Really? He's a big Pirate fan.
He wants to go to the opening game this year.
That's what I was gonna say. Should we go? McCutcheon's back.
It's 4:30 on a Friday.
Yeah.
I can just say I'm being off for it.
We could make it.
Although I say 5 o'clock now on Fridays, we're open until 5.
I'm saying is if we decide to shut it down, we left at 2. We left at 2 as a team.
I just hate paying that much to go see a Pirates baseball game.
What would it be?
I could go.
I think they're like $200 right now.
Yeah. There's no way the Pirates are charging $200.
You can look it up right now.
I'm not. I've looked up the last one. I concede you were right on that.
I got Ticketmaster.
If I just want standing room in the bleacher seats,
I
want standing room in the bleacher seats so I can go into the.
I wouldn't pay $50. I mean,
why?
I'd pay $50
on any given Tuesday. I can go see a Pirate game for like $11.
Yeah, but you want to see it in a sold-out stadium.
Opening day, $50 would be fine. $100 for bleacher seats to me would be too much.
I'll pay like a couple hundred. I mean,
if I'm paying a couple hundred, I want a legit armrest seat.
Yeah, down by the baseline.
But if it's just get a bleacher seat.
Oh yeah, I'm not paying that much for bleachers.
Bleacher seat, I'll pay $30-$40.
I don't even look at the bleacher seats.
I move.
I want to sit in comfort, and I want to be close to the game.
I want to sit in comfort.
Yeah.
But either way, they shut down alcohol sales at the 7th.
So
once you get to the 12th or 13th inning of an already, because remember, to get that long, that means no one's scoring. You're just sitting
or people keep scoring.
To tie, each team scores one run.
That's my favorite.
Each score. That doesn't happen, though. It's normally 0-0 for an extended period of time.
Yeah, but that's good. Like, then you're seeing some good pitching.
It's really boring to watch. I don't know how many baseball games you've been to. It is just not exciting.
55.
For what
Okay.
seats?
For tickets.
For what seats?
I mean, you're in the nosebleeds for these
Yeah.
ones.
Battlefield.
How much is like first base line?
331. No, you're behind. I love these seats. I love being up high for sporting events. People think I'm crazy.
Actually, the club seats are nice because they have the air conditioning spots. So whenever it rains and shit, you go in there, and there's no line for getting alcohol. And the seats have cushions.
Yeah, clearly better. Yes.
Yeah. How much are those? How much are club seats for the game?
I don't know.
Don't you have the app up? You just click the section. It tells you.
What section is it? 112.
The whole lower section of the upper deck, like the lowest, that little sliver.
I think those are all sold out. Actually.
Yeah, there's people sell them.
Yeah.
Are you on StubHub?
Ticketmaster. The lower bowl's 116.
That's what when I was looking, it was like in the hundreds. I think it was over 200 though.
I bet down the first base line's more. Yeah.
Okay. We'll figure this out
We can talk about politics.
on a future date. Let's start first. We're gonna start before we get into the presidential PA Senate. John Fetterman found out he has to wear a suit every day for the Senate and checked himself into Walter Reed with depression.
Oh, is that why we're calling it? Is that what? Yeah.
That has to be the reason.
He's down. He just wanted. He just got affirmed.
He was just healthy and fine.
Yeah, he recovered from the stroke, and we could have pulled him out. We could have put in Connor Lamb, but we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
We continued to send him in to represent us, and now he's feeling down. Which
I have a take on this. I don't know how much I want to get into it, but I will try. Because
boy.
Shannon and I were talking about it the other day.
that's my favorite kind of take.
But
Jump in as far as you want.
part of me is like, this is why people hate the Democrats, right? Because it's just like, you won your election. You won.
Sissy
why are
boy.
you depressed?
Snowflake.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. You checked yourself in. You are having an image problem with your health. Why would you go check yourself into a hospital? Makes no sense, right?
Why wouldn't you pull out of the campaign before now that you won it and you're facing 6 years?
So
this isn't House Rat.
Yeah.
This is Senate. 6 years.
So part of me is just like, yeah, it's just I don't get it.
Stiffen the upper lip.
Shannon's thing is
Mental health.
mental health awareness.
Poor guy. You know.
I think they keep choosing handicapped people because you're not allowed to talk shit on them.
You're handicapped. We can't attack him. It's like
You can't attack him.
You
You're
can't,
not allowed
what
to.
can I say here? All I can say is
It's the same thing with Joe Biden.
I actually I said that with half of a smirk, but I really do think he thought he wasn't gonna have to wear suits every day, and now it's like
Oh, you really think that's the reason?
he hated it.
He does hate. You can tell he
can't
hates
fit.
it.
He can't fit.
Yeah.
His body doesn't fit into a suit.
What did he think he was gonna get to be the only person walking there in t-shirt?
Bernie just wears the same suit every day. Bernie has like 3 suits that he just rotates over the course of a month,
Yeah.
and he washes them like once a month. He's just that guy that kind of comes in smelling like urine.
I don't know. This is
I'm joking, maybe not with Bernie.
This is one of
Either
those-
way, Bernie.
I'm joking, but not really.
Bernie is the only senator that is known for not dressing appropriately.
Yeah.
This is just one of those positions that you wear a suit, that you have like 6 of the same colored suits.
But can you just go in not wearing a suit? Is there anything they can
No,
do?
there is a rule.
No, you
There's a
can.
rule?
Like I said,
There's a rule.
Bernie is very coherent. When Bernie gives his speech, him not wearing the appropriate attire is to him advertising he's an outsider.
Yeah,
That's
but he
how
still has a suit
Fetterman.
and tie on.
Fetterman does the same thing, but right now people are arguing is okay. We get Fetterman's an outsider, but can he actually do the job? Like the actual job, you can't dress like a clown. If he gets up there in gym shorts and a hoodie with cut off sleeves, and he's sitting here screaming that everyone needs $20,000 free college tuition, it's like that's the guy that's the Harvard grad whose parents paid for him is currently the one speaking on behalf of free.
My initial take on this is I think it's a wrong move. Like if we're gonna talk strategy on this show right now, like okay, John Fetterman strategist, what were you thinking? Like,
Right now, the only thing similar to the Biden basement campaign,
Not doing him any
the only
favors.
thing, and the only thing Fetterman has going for him is he will get how many of the PA constituency that goes, oh, Greg's mean for making fun of him. He's having mental problems.
yeah.
His wife apparently abandoned him and ran to Canada with the kids because she didn't want security outside or media.
But see, that's another just whiny thing. It's like you guys are in the spotlight. You guys are the wife and the kids of a senator now. This is
you could have pulled out at any moment after that stroke, and
Yeah.
no one would have.
You're
no one would have held anything against you.
Yeah, you're no longer the mayor of Braddock. Like this is the big time.
No longer the lieutenant
you had
general.
to perform
You are a 6-year
like it's the big
senator
time.
for the state of Pennsylvania, one of
Yeah.
100.
And that's probably why he had a stroke. He was probably so stressed out whether I could do the job or not, and then that's why he gets. So I don't know. It's tough. I mean, you feel bad for the guy.
Heart problems after all those boosters. I don't know.
Again, as a strategist, I guess maybe they're playing that card a little bit, like just the sympathy card.
No, right there. Once again, I'm getting pegged. I'm getting misinformation. Greg's spreading misinformation vax. But after he got his booster, his life certainly has not gotten better medically.
Okay, well, we can go down that rabbit hole later.
We won't. Let's go into the presidential election.
Do we have any clips?
Yeah, I got a rapid fire.
Play some clips.
Before that, comments on Vivek Ramaswamy and Haley. God, I can't remember her last name.
I don't know what you're talking about. Craig, do you know?
She announced she's running for president. She's challenging Trump. Nikki Haley.
Oh, Nikki Haley.
And Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yes.
Vivek is kind of like a...
I don't know his Vic character.
He's an Andrew Yang. He's a tech guy. He made a bunch of tech money. He wrote a book called Woke Inc. Really good. I think he's going to manage to get 5%, but he's not going to get enough to get delegates. So I'm kind of watching him to see what his strategy is to get the delegates.
When's the primary start? I mean, pretty soon. March, right?
The rant I had going into the episode was both teams are holding their rule books. Is right now you have technically Biden and Trump are both incumbents. And if they announce they're running, how seriously do we take challenges? In the Democratic Party, Marianne Williamson just announced she's going at it. Gavin Newsom and a lot of Nancy Pelosi, there's a montage of big-name Democrats going, if Joe says he's running, he's running. But Joe's being coy. He knows the earlier you jump in, the more you get hit. Yeah. So why not hold?
Why not wait?
Yeah, keep your cards as close to as possible. As long as the DNC won't put out a rule book.
It's a good call. And then you can also see like who's going to maybe be a challenger for you. Because if somebody else jumps the gun, then that just gives you more time to prepare. You know.
Ron DeSantis right now is the most interesting character to watch.
Really?
Well, no, because the question is.
Oh wait. Yes.
Yeah, Ron DeSantis in the Republican side is that you have Trump polling at a solid 1/3.
Yeah. So, I think Ron DeSantis is going to be the next president of the United States. I'll make that claim right here, right now.
I think it's possible. Do you think he has a chance at winning if it's a one-on-one? I think he can beat Trump.
I think he can do the field.
He can do a 10-person field.
I think he can take it.
7. How do you? What if you're him? What's your strategy? Do you go at Trump or do you try and pick off all the other smaller percentages? Look at it like poker. Do you go at that 4% and assume if you can discredit Vivek, you can absorb his base, or what are the odds? Kamala style. You go after Joe Biden's base, you alienate them. Even if you knock him out, you've turned those voters against you based off.
I think you're probably right. I think a lot of people are going to walk in there and pull DeSantis. Even when a Trump supporter, they're just going to be like, this is who I want.
Well, they're going with the hot guy. Yeah. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah, Trump's gone all mask. Like people are like talking about how Trump went with the whole. He was pro-vax. He's the reason for it. He's the mask. Like mask him up generation. Like he was the president that year when he didn't stop any of it.
He was initially the president during COVID.
Like he was, and he takes all the credit for the vaccines and stuff. Like that's his thing.
This isn't all in the Democrats.
Is he gonna go out there and run on I got the vaccine push through
right now?
He tried to at one point.
Is that what his plan is? Like who's
right
now? The Republicans are gonna show up for that?
Right now, he's pivoting off of taking credit for the vax Project Warp Speed, and he's transitioning into going against the war in Ukraine, which I think is a very smart play.
Smart move.
Mitch McConnell, the Senate leader, currently the highest ranking Republican, is super pro-Ukraine.
Right.
DeSantis is at a very interesting position where he can pick where he wants to go with this. He's a state governor. He doesn't need to back the Senate.
Right.
What's the best for the taxpayers of Florida?
There's no foreign policy.
Funding a proxy war in the Middle East.
Why are we doing that?
It has not been popular in that state for
Ron DeSantis is the American first candidate, and I think that gives him enough votes to win.
Is he going to be willing to, what Craig just said, attack Trump for basically enabling Fauci? Trump could have fired Fauci, and this country would have been better off as soon as he started pumping that misinformation that this came from a pangolin in a bat in a wet lab. He should have been railroaded. Right then, it's this man is crazy, and let's start looking at what.
There's been news on that lately, like how the leak happened.
Yeah. The big news is the Fed, the Washington White House, came out and said, I think it's specifically the National Department of Energy, that it came from the Wuhan lab. And if that's the case,
which all these people who were kicked off of Twitter, kicked off of YouTube
Doctors,
for talking about
journalists, entire newspaper,
Yeah.
media
I mean,
organizations, out and from those to nobodies, to people with 100 followers, anybody that dared possibly suggest that this came out of a lab. Woo! I think the exact terminology was a homicidal maniac. You were a racist trying to get people to hate the Chinese. When it's like, in all reality, why did Fauci care so much? Is because he was the one that was directing the funding over there because he wasn't allowed to do this research in the United States. And when you look at it like that, New Year's episode, our criminal of the year last year was Tony Fauci. And when you look at it like this, he's a war criminal. Is he produced a virus that caused us to react in a way that destroyed our economy, that damaged our youth forever. Who knows how many lives have been permanently affected.
Ruined Trump's presidency.
Yes. and they were censored. Anybody who argued that was censored.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's Trump's fault. Trump could have came out and said, don't talk, like, you know.
He could have fired him. That moment, Tony Fauci smacked his
Didn't
head.
he have him on stage with him? Like, he was a team with them.
So many times Trump was undermined because he came up and he said the thing about bleach. And as soon as he goes inject bleach, you just see Fauci stand behind him and go, this over-dramatic Italian. You say, okay, we got it. He's showing him up, and CNN ran with it. It's like, look how dumb the president is. The genius, Tony Fauci, I'm the science now. Undermined him every single step of the way. Put out a book about it. So I need to hear Trump defend why he was duped by this little dago. And I need to hear, on the other end, DeSantis pull the punches. You've been calling, don't Fauci my Florida. You've been calling this out from the beginning. Do you have the courage to get on stage and shame Trump? For he didn't.
So we need him to go on like a real interview, but they won't do that.
It's going to be months. DeSantis is not going to announce he's running until the end of his legislative term in August. So he's not going to do. There's no debates until Christmas time.
He should go on
until like maybe Trump, Thanksgiving, early November, a year before the election. We'll start getting primary debates. The actual primaries are 1 year.
Yeah,
from
but
today.
I mean the debates are so useless. Trump should have to.
These multi-candidate one-on-one is useless. Multi-candidate, it's interesting to see how they play each other's chip stack. How
it's a poker match.
Yeah. One-on-one, the moderator has a heavy say on who's.
It would be really nice if like Trump and DeSantis maybe went on Lex Friedman.
I think
that would be cool.
Ron DeSantis
had for our clips.
We're gonna play the clips right now. I'll end it on Joe Rogan and Patrick Bet-David. Whatever candidates are willing to take interviews with them, that's the new Jon Stewart.
You think they're going to do it? I mean, Rogan's a 3-hour interview. You think these guys are going to do it?
Vivek and Tulsi both have multiple times.
Yeah, they have.
So they can set the tone. Ron DeSantis, Joe Rogan has all but invited him on. If he wants to organize a 2-hour sit down, talk about his military career, he has a story to tell. The question is does he have charisma? Donald bleeds charisma. What he lacks is professionalism. DeSantis has the professionalism. Does he have the charisma? Trump's been calling him Meatball. Meatball Ron. I'm not going to call him Meatball. I would never say he's a meatball, but he looks a little like a meatball.
What would the move be with DeSantis if he smoked weed on his podcast? Pulled an Elon.
You're not gonna,
do you think he loses his base?
He will not. I'm more concerned.
I think he does.
No, I'm actually more concerned.
Know.
I'm more concerned he won't take an interview with Rogan and goes anti-pot in Florida, because that's where the Republican base in Florida is actually leading.
Really?
Because pot's got pretty loose down in Florida. So the conservative evangelical crowd is like, walking through the streets and I'm smelling the reefer, whatever. So there, he has to show that like he's a good attack.
I don't think anybody wins with being anti-pot.
No, I don't think they do either. But
if he goes anti-pot, I would say he loses with Trump.
I would say the Republicans have an issue with their stone cold anti-abortion, anti-pot, fringe conservative alt-right
Christianity.
Yes, that the evangelicals
morals.
That if that's what they want to rest their laurels on, they will lose. And that's definitive. This is for a lot of people. Is a one issue. Yeah, the midterms. This is over and over again. Abortion is not a winning topic.
Yeah,
you can. I believe in it. My stance on it is states' rights.
Right. Well,
but if you're going to draw this moral stance that when life begins and when it doesn't,
No,
You lose as soon as you make that.
It's a personal decision. All right, let's hear the.
Let's play some bags. I got some good ones here.
Okay, what are we leading with?
Soundbite.
Soundbite. I know. Soundbite of what?
Logical.
You have to preface the soundbite a little bit, Greg.
This is
just a little bit, not a lot.
Right now, one of the big issues with Ukraine is how many biolabs there are there.
Oh.
We touched upon this at a past episode. Metabiota. This is General John Kirby, former Rear Admiral. He's press secretary for the military at the moment.
Got it.
This is his response to being questioned.
Let's hear the Kirby.
Let's make sure we got it played at the right level here.
The issue of military biological labs in Ukraine that the Russians keep raising.
Yeah.
Can you basically explain to us what type of relationship, if any, there was between the Pentagon and the Ukrainian side on any biological labs? When was the last cooperation, and what do you have to say about these Russian accusations?
This is Wuhan level.
The Russian accusations are absurd. They're laughable. And, in the words of my Irish Catholic grandfather, a bunch of malarkey.
Oh.
Last episode, I'm very clear.
Is
someone
talking about Biden?
No,
he's talking
this
about
is Biden's the military press secretary who has to fill in for KJP.
Yeah, but was he referring to him when he said malarkey?
No, he's referring.
Oh, I thought that's his saying.
Well, no, that's what's so odd is I'm an Irish Catholic is such a weird thing to bring up that to me it's the equivalent of saying, like in the mafia, this is one of us. This is La Cosa Nostra. This is a thing of ours. This is when you identify yourself as
family.
As my grandpap would say, an Irish Catholic. What? Why are you asserting? And I only got this from Hunter's laptop. Joe Biden, his speeches all the time. I'm an Irish Catholic. What's he saying? My grandpap. This is Tom Hagen from The Godfather. He's the advisor to The Godfather, Joe Biden.
Yeah.
He's not actually 100% Italian.
The lawyer.
That's why he can't be a made man.
I don't think he's not Italian.
He's half Irish, half Italian.
Yeah.
I think this is Kirby basically saying there are no biolabs. I'm an Irish Catholic. I'll let him finish here.
There's nothing to it. It's classic Russian propaganda. And I wouldn't, if I were you, I wouldn't give it. I wouldn't give it a drop of ink worth paying attention.
Don't look into that. That's convincing. That's a great liar right there.
Bad.
He's filling in for KJB.
I
wouldn't even look at it for a minute. I'm an Irish Catholic.
Not 1 second.
It's a bunch of malarkey, folks. It's a bunch of malarkey.
He would have been better off just being
He was the CNN spokesperson.
No comment.
When Trump was president.
Oh, really?
Yes. That's where him and KJP and the original Soggy Time.
Find these guys. Like, that's...
It's a farm. It's a farm.
I feel like you could insert either one of us tomorrow. And
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological?
So this is the follow-up here. This is Marco Rubio questioning Victoria Nuland. She's the one during the fall of Euromaidan said, fuck the EU.
Okay.
And we're going to put in Klitschko and Yatsenyuk to be in charge of the Ukraine after we ran a coup.
Okay.
This is Rubio asking that exact same question within days.
Ukraine has biological research facilities, which, in fact, we are now quite concerned Russian forces may be seeking to gain control of. So we are working with the Ukrainians on how they can prevent any of those research materials from falling into the hands of control of.
Remember, Kirby just said this wasn't happening.
Research facilities, which, in fact, we are now quite concerned Russian forces may be seeking to gain control of. So we are working with the Ukrainians on how they can prevent any of those research materials from falling into the hands of Russian forces should they approach.
I'm sure you're aware that the Russian propaganda groups are already putting out there all kinds of information about how they've uncovered a plot by the Ukrainians to release biological weapons in the country and with NATO's coordination. If there's a biological or chemical weapon incident or attack inside of Ukraine, is there any doubt in your mind that 100% it would be the Russians that would be behind it?
There is no doubt in my mind, Senator, and it is classic Russian
okay.
technique to blame
did
on
you
the
run
other
that
guy
at 1.5 seconds?
Yeah, that's hard to pay attention to.
I was like, whoa, he's saying Russian.
Yeah,
it was 1.5 speed. Playing it at normal, I was scared it was too slow.
Oh, okay.
It was one of those I had to play it.
That was so fast.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I just wanted to get.
Fast.
I just wanted to get to the point of
wanted
first
to
saying.
Make sure I understood the
just
context.
after Kirby said any notion that there are biological research centers in Ukraine is completely malarkey. It's my Irish grandfather would have said that. Now you have Victoria Nuland, another Mick, sitting here in front of Congress, in front of Marco Rubio, a Florida senator, saying, oh, yeah, there are bio research labs. But it's all Russian if anything comes out of them, it's Russian misinformation. Now, there are some details on the laptop that you might be able to tie the Ukrainian bio research labs to the Wuhan.
Okay.
And Fauci and Hunter. That's Conspiracy Village. I'm going to let that. I'm just going to float that.
We're just going to float that.
Listen to those two Irish Catholics just speaking amongst themselves.
Okay, what other clips we got over there, Greg? That was good. I like how you paired those two together.
I organized them this time. We got one more here. Do you guys want to hear Joe Biden talking about who's zooming who? You're probably not going to understand this.
I generally don't like to hear Joe Biden speak, but...
Crank it up, Craig. I'm going to need volume on here. Chopper talk to people. It's short. This is really short.
Turn up the main.
This is short. I promise you this is short.
Try not to talk.
He stole this from Trump. Is when you do interviews on Chopper Talk, I can't clip you. Because I got that background buzz that it's like any clip that the news plays.
He's going into the chopper and trying to do it.
He does it outside of Air Force Two. On his way to hell. Trump did this notoriously.
Right.
I hated when he did it.
Right.
You can, I didn't hear the question. I'm just going to answer the question I want to hear. Oh, I said something stupid. You misheard me.
Play the clip, Greg.
I did a whole video, Zoom. All I can every time I think of Zoom, that song of my generation, who's zooming who?
Who's zooming who? They're asking him about how the call that he had with Ohio, which we didn't get into. May repeat his trip.
He could have been drunk.
He couldn't remember where he did the phone call. But Zoom, he did a virtual call. He can't remember the term.
Thing.
The reporter goes Zoom, and he goes, I just think of that song from as a kid. Who's zooming who?
Zoomy.
Right now, if anything defined our country, who's zooming who? I don't know. I really don't know who's calling what.
I think we all have a disdain for Zoom at this point. After going through 2 years of COVID.
Don Lemon was sent to sensitivity trading.
Good.
He's getting repurposed. Andrew Cuomo.
You called that one. That was good.
I didn't take my victory lap on all my predictions from 2022 because I was wrong about Biden. I said he'd be pulled by now. I was banking on them doing. I cannot believe we're still going by that. Call my own foul. I was wrong on that. But I was correct. The Cuomo Bridge in New York renamed. What are they calling it now? Yeah,
really?
The Tap NZ. That's what it was before Cuomo became the mayor. We got. Here's from the COVID files. New York auctioned off 200 million medical supplies. How much money do you think they got for them?
10 million. Not even?
500,000.
Oh my God.
All those ventilators that they used to kill my grandmother.
Yeah.
That whole crowd. Yeah. $200 million worth of medical supplies they had to sell for 500,000. So, poor state of New York. The stock market's looking crappy. You got those pyramids. Those giant buildings that go to the sky that no one will go back and work for.
Oh.
All those banks? Yeah, skyscrapers. They're kind of like pyramids. They're just giant buildings that nobody lives in but a pharaoh.
I think my take on some of that kind of thing is we saw it in World War II where we just had to make stuff to make stuff, and that ramped up the economy and ramped up a bunch of debt. And I think that was sort of the angle here with COVID it was like, hey, we just got to manufacture a bunch of stuff to fight this quote-unquote war.
What is New York capable of manufacturing right now?
New York has a lot of, they have manufacturing capability. They have a workforce, so.
All the homeless living in the hotels?
They were probably working, to create ventilators in the factories not mere 3 months ago.
I don't know how I raise with this. I don't know how I raise it. My predictions. It
was a play to get the economy back on track. Again, this is my conspiracy village. I mean, this is why I think, the Democrats played it up so much. Was like, hey, we got to create supplies. We got to make, hand sanitizer and masks and ventilators, and we got to fight this war, right? And you got to ramp up. You got to ramp up manufacturing to be able to do that. I mean, that's what we saw in Pittsburgh back in World War II.
But this wasn't a world war. It was
Well,
made up
well,
because China released a
it was, but it wasn't.
disease that was created.
You're calling it made up, but at the same time, we made a lot of ventilators that were paid for with government money, and now it's debt. So
we should be suing China.
we should. Yeah, I'm down with that. Recoup some of the cost that way.
Okay.
But that's what it was. After World War II, Norway was the only one that paid off their debt. Like, wasn't that the fun fact in history?
We're gonna end.
You know, like this is what you do. You incur debt and you manufacture things.
We're gonna
in
end.
wartime,
We're gonna
so.
end on predictions and person of the year. Last two topics I have: the Murdaugh trials, the senator from South Carolina who murdered his wife and son.
Yes.
Have you guys been following that at all?
A little bit.
Anything to comment on? Or just
Yeah, I watched the documentary.
Did you?
Yeah.
what? This one, do you think he's guilty or not?
They sell it really good. Yeah.
He looks guilty.
Looks pretty guilty in the documentary. I
haven't seen
mean,
it.
I'd say-
but I don't
know
know.
anything
He
about
didn't.
it,
He doesn't give his side of the story.
The guilty
really, but-
looks very, very bad to me.
So
and
this guy murdered his family?
So it's the documentary goes with his son is taking their boat out for a
Under
night
18,
drinking with all their
drinking
friends.
under 18 gets in a
Are they
boating
under 18
accident.
at that time,
Never
or are
do
they?
anything while you're
I
drinking.
thought he was just under 21.
Under 21.
He's under 21.
Illegally operating
yeah.
a motorized vehicle drunk.
And he wrecks.
He kills
and kills one of their friends. She
Yes.
drowns.
Oh. Shit.
So they're so that
Dad
family
goes.
brings the lawsuit.
Dad goes
to-
into
Cover-up.
cover-up mode, like representing all the people.
He's been cheating taxes. He has tax
And he
fraud
kind of
through
is
the
like
lawsuit.
he must have connections to the police force because the police never reached out to the girl who drowned. Her parents never got contact.
3 generations of judges.
Never,
This guy,
never got questioned, and I don't think at all, right?
Nothing.
And it
Also,
also
they
seemed
said
like-
he wasn't driving the boat.
Where?
There was a debate that he wasn't actually.
yeah,
the one
they
that-
originally said his cousin was driving the boat, but that came out as
Where?
not being the story. Where was this at?
It's the
I forget.
Carolinas. I'm
Yeah,
not sure south or north.
So it's just like a
And the
prominent
guy's
family.
a senator.
A state senator, prominent lawyer.
Do we have prominent families like that around here?
the
that I don't know
Lambs,
about?
the
Absolutely.
Bars,
Absolutely.
the Sorellis.
Yeah, the Sorellis.
They're all so many. Yeah, every
I don't know any of these.
every
families.
district because we're
Absolutely.
commoners, Craig. We don't know these people, and they're the ones that decide elections.
The Palones up in New Kensington. I mean,
The Nunzios,
yeah.
small town.
They hold weight.
How many
They hold
employees do you employ?
Yeah.
That's
how much
your-
influence do you have?
How many wives and kids do they have? You know, that's
What's your voting block? You know, that's what you're like
What kind of
basically
poll?
trying to create here. You know,
and
So-
generally when you're a coach, when you're a judge,
Yeah.
when you're a community organizer,
it looks
a
like-
small business owner, when you're in a restaurant, you get a pretty nice sampling that if you're
I never really thought about
if you're
it
a
that way.
personable restaurant tour, you're talking to all your customers. You're going out there finding out what's
you're
their
right
problem.
out there in the public.
What do they like?
Yeah.
You know, what makes you happy? What doesn't?
So with the Murdoch situation, is the one son, allegedly, might have had a sexual relationship with a gay
yeah,
classmate.
there's that storyline in there too.
So, it seems like the dad set up a murder on that kid where it made it look like he got hit by a car, but it was obvious it didn't happen, but there was no investigation because of his connections.
Okay.
No murder weapon, and there's no
And then
clothes
he
with
also-
Don't
DNA
ask
on them.
Shannon about
The
this.
nanny-
I bet she does about
This is,
it.
I would like to hear Shannon's.
The nanny also gets pushed down the stairs in front of the house, cracks her head open.
The brother
he
cleans
took
up
out
the scene.
He took out an insurance policy, commercial policy on his property like a month before this happened, where she gets apparently pushed down the stairs, cracks her head, but she has like rib damage and stuff. No autopsy done. The coroner, I think, wrote a complaint about that it was suspicious because there was
You
no.
really did watch this documentary,
yeah,
did you, Craig?
No,
and
it's
then
on Netflix. I think it's on 4.
The only reason they were able to connect it to him officially, like even if they had suspicions, was when his son was murdered. His alibi was that he was at his parents' house. His son must have took a video message. I'm guessing Snapchat. They went back and looked through it, and the dad's voice is in the background. So they pin him at the scene during the murders.
Wow.
Which reopens the case into the gay kid.
There's some 21st century shit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that reopens the other cases where now he's on trial for all that.
Okay, well, keep us updated there.
Yeah,
I'm
Final
interested.
the way
True
they
crime.
end the way
True
they end
crime.
the documentary is killer, because he's not doing an interview with him, right? But he's talking to his son who was caught with the gay kid, or not caught, but possibly. And he
Allegedly.
asks him over the recording, "Hey, I meant to ask you, Is Netflix doing some sort of documentary on all this? That's how it
was
ends.
like called out before it even happens.
Yeah, like it must have been going around that they're doing interviews with everyone involved in this. Like all the kids that were on the boat did interviews. All that.
And the way the trial ended today was the defense, the senator, is calling for a field trip to the murder scene. Yes.
Field trip?
A field trip. You can normally what's odd
What is this, a John Grisham novel?
Normally
like we're gonna go on a little.
Well, normally the prosecution is the one that calls for this, and they want you to go and reenact the crime scene, so you can see how far. When you're saying like we have the dog kennel and we had him, he's 15 minutes away.
They want them to see it.
Actually, walk through it and see, is it believable that he could have been this far away from the crime scene and not heard the gunshot? Like I said, normally the prosecutor is the one that wants to do this. In this particular instance, the defense called for it, and the prosecutors objected. Judge overruled and said, yeah, we're going to go do it. Media is viewing that as a good sign for Alex Murdaugh, that they might call.
Because if he's able to make it seem like I couldn't.
He's arguing that there was a second shooter, and this might have been a plot to take him.
All right, we'll have to get it. I'll try to watch it.
It's one of the I didn't know how much we get into it. We'll get a ruling here within the next week.
Okay.
Lady Gaga, her dog was kidnapped.
Okay.
Maybe 6 months ago. She offered a $500,000 reward. $500,000 reward, no questions asked. Kind of like when the teacher says, I know that someone cheated or someone stole this. Everyone's going to close their eyes, write the name on the board, and we won't hold you accountable.
Yeah.
That person did this. They turned in the dog.
Okay.
Lady Gaga did not pay him. Stiffed him the money. Stiffed her the money. Mm-hmm. She's suing Lady Gaga now because she didn't get the money. What do you think should happen with that?
That's a tough one.
Is a reward actually guaranteed?
When you sign paperwork and you offer...
Did she sign a paperwork, or did they just post
it was
a
reward? Public CNN. Lady Gaga is offering $500,000.
But you don't actually have to pay up on that stuff.
I think Lady Gaga lawyers up and wins this one. Her dog was stolen.
Yeah, I'm never arguing behind a dog theft application, but I think she has to pay that money. Mm-mm. We should know that person's name. You don't have to ask her questions.
I think
somebody can kill her.
This is
vigilante.
That's why you get these things go to court. You know, maybe they settle for something like a lot less, but $500,000 is a lot.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
She shouldn't have offered it if she can't pay up.
No, she did. She want her dog back. So she put out like a ridiculous sum of money for a dog and hoped somebody would bite. They did. Okay, I have like 19 lawyers working for me.
What do you think?
You're jack shit guy.
Someone needs to create a website where the money goes into the fund beforehand, so that as soon as you return it,
but in all seriousness, like then let's say Lady Gaga does pay out that money, well we just gonna go steal celebrities' dogs and hope.
And that's where I'm wondering is now.
So like as a judge, you gotta like set that.
I haven't heard this floated yet, but what do you think the odds of the dog walker being involved? Especially being a female thief.
They could all be in on it.
If you know Lady Gaga is going to offer up a $500,000 bribe.
Oh, we got Penguins updates. We're up 2-1 now.
Are the Penguins going to miss the playoffs this year?
We are in a playoff race right now. We won't delve back into sports.
Being in a playoff race in hockey is not a good thing.
It's embarrassing.
It's
not a good thing.
But you know what? You know what just happened here? You know, they were outshot in the first period of this game against Nashville. Sidney Crosby, they keep it tied. Sidney Crosby takes it, puts the game on his back, third period, gets that game tying goal. So they're tied at 1. Nashville did score first. And then Jason Zucker makes it a 2-1 game. Can they close it out and get these crucial 2 points? I mean, every point matters down the stretch. That's why we're checking our phone during podcasts. I'm passionate about this kind of stuff. We got to make the playoffs.
He also suggested that we not record tonight and just go to Harry's and watch the game.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I was like, could we just go to the bar?
How much time's left in the game?
We should go to Badges, not Harry's. Harry's is so smoky.
We could do that.
It's like you smell so bad when you leave there. It's like
you can't you can't wear the clothes again.
They gotta be washed.
Even if you wash them, they still stick.
No, don't still sneak. I still go to Harry sometimes, but I've been trying to avoid
45 seconds left.
Okay, well, call the rest of the game. I got one last clip, and we can call it a day.
Okay, we'll play your last clip, and then I'll tell you if they pull it off.
Okay, good call. Okay, this is May.
This should be their 30th win of the season.
This is May of 2016. I don't know if you remember the Flint, Michigan water crises.
Of course they do.
Whole big issue. Do you remember the exact details of that case besides the water was not drinkable?
What else needs to be known?
Well, Obama went there and allegedly drank some of the water.
Oh, really? To like prove that it was safe.
We just had the same instance happen with our governor,
Now he has cancer.
Mr. Shapiro, Governor DeWine of Ohio, and Mayor Pete Buttigieg. After Trump beat them all there.
At East Palestine.
So Trump manages to be the first on the scene in New Palestine.
I did think that was interesting.
East Palestine.
They politic.
He goes and buys them all McDonald's. You know what? He gets a rally. He gets the whole crowd that shows up for him.
Well, the headline I saw on this was, because you voted for Trump, is this, this regulation?
It's your fault.
It's
Joy
your
Behar
fault,
blamed the Trump voters.
Which is a little harsh, I will admit. But
that's after
there is a regulation argument to be made there.
So when you look at who was the original person to take off all of these regulations, it was actually Obama. And I don't know which one of you wants to watch this clip, but this is when he went in front of the people of Flint.
If you actually send me the clip, I can put it
on the show.
But you actually have to send it.
I'm going to send it to you before I play it.
You need to send me the other clips too.
There's 19 seconds left in this game. There must be a pause.
This is the one I'm playing now. Alec, I want you to watch this because this is from the documentary by Michael Moore.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Bona fide Democrat. This is Fahrenheit 9/11.
Right. He lit the
faucet
on fire.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm here.
Watch, bro.
To tell you directly that I see you and I hear you.
About like right hair.
This is 2016. The end.
Can I get some water?
See the kid's face?
This shit is
I want a glass of water.
Well, this has just been a long
I really did need a glass of water. This is
not good. This was the end of it.
What? He wet his lips. He did not drink it. He didn't sip it. He wet his lips. There was an audible gasp in the audience. People were just like absolutely dejected.
I don't know why anybody would have advised him to do that.
John Podesta, his advisor.
And to the average person, then the Democrats don't look like the people who are going to come to the rescue. Right.
It was as insulting a thing as you could have ever done.
That was on Fox News.
It was Fox playing Fahrenheit 9/11 because what they were comparing it to is they just redid it. And Democrats don't seem to understand how terrible the optics is. The concern is not that one drink...
Wet his lips was the initial comment after that? I don't know.
The concern of the community is not that one drink of water is going to poison them. It's that showering in it, living in it, washing your foods in it.
Do you expect him to take a shower on stage, Greg?
If you want to show me a publicity stunt, I want to see Malika and his kids playing in the river. That's showing me that you trust this environment. For Pete Buttigieg to walk into Ohio, touch water to his lips, put it back down and say, drink the water.
Is that what Pete Buttigieg did?
Yes, him, DeWine, and Shapiro are governors, and Ohio's governors. A Republican, a Democrat in the Department of Treasury, went in, took a sip of water, and told the people of Eastern Palestine it's okay to drink it. That you guys are all being anti-science. You guys are your rubes. You're concerned about having chemicals in your water. These are the same people that just advertise us to get an experimental vaccination to go against an imaginary virus.
The same people claiming you can't drink your frack water.
Like, how in God's name can the Democrats continue to walk around and pretend like they take the climate seriously?
Because of these publicity stunts.
I would think, to me, that's where, that's what the reason that clip was important to me was because that was in real time. That was when I lost faith in him. That was when he went from the guy during the South Carolina church shootings that sang Amazing Grace in front of the whole church that was untouchable to he's another clown.
Wasn't it also his last year in office after an 8-year tenure?
This was the wheels falling off the wagon. This was Obama handing the baton off to Hillary, and it's like they don't get us at all. This is so far from the 2008 Obama. He's gray. He's a bad actor. He's not making any sense. His own people don't even believe him.
8 years of the presidency.
This was Barry Obama. This was not the Barack Obama that was elected I voted for in 2008. That's why Hillary Clinton is Is this the extension?
They say the stress of the presidency is an unbelievable thing. So, like in some cases, you could say Joe Biden's actually held up remarkably well compared to the stress.
I thought you were going to say that about Trump. Is that he generally seems the same as when he came in. Joe Biden is a robot.
I don't know. I don't say that about Trump. I think Trump
looks kind of old now.
Trump looks old.
And afterwards, he started like.
And I think he turned more into the robot. Like he was so good at freewheeling, and then all of a sudden he wasn't after 3.5 years of being the president. So I
think it's probably a lot to go to like sleep every night knowing how many lives you're responsible for taking.
I mean, literally the free world is on your shoulders. You know what I mean? So it has to have an effect on anybody. Say that.
I would say it's more just like you think about how many innocent people they take, the lives that they take when they make orders.
I lose
and they drop
over
it
the 5 people that I employ. You know, like, could you imagine, like, being the president of the United States?
For some reason, I don't think Biden's losing sleep out of any of this.
Well, he's heavily medicated. That's why.
I really do not think he's losing sleep at all. But
I would have to be.
I think he was shot in 2012.
Who, Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Was he shot in 2012? Oh, you mean like...
In order to claim he didn't know what his son was doing, he is brain dead for the last 10 years.
Yeah, no, probably.
That's why we can't criminalize anything he did, because he doesn't remember.
I mean, I'm sure we talked about this at a show. I mean, Joe Biden should have ran 2016.
Why didn't he do that?
I mean, he did. He lost to Hillary.
No, he didn't run. Bernie ran against Hillary.
No, because
Joe, they wanted to. When Bernie was putting up his son died in 2015.
Yeah, so he couldn't run.
He could have ran.
Well, he could.
His other son was currently on a rampage doing Fear and Loathing in L.A.
Wow.
And he knew that he couldn't run as long as his son was on a Ukrainian energy board. Well, Russia did an Ashley Madison hacked the entire DNC, and through Eric Snowden and Julian Assange. That was all retaliation to the Hunter Burisma Energy Board. So Joe couldn't run because he was clearly damaged.
If he wasn't that damaged, though, do you think he would have beat Trump?
I think that everything that they accused Trump of, Joe Biden committed. So it desensitized the Democratic base to not really caring about the actual crimes that Biden committed because Trump did it and Trump did it worse. The same reason that they justified ruling out the Chinese lab theory is because the bad guys were the ones promoting it. It was Trump, the one that was saying that this came from a lab. So he obviously has a vested interest.
That, like, just particularly what if this and what if that happened politically? I mean, I think Trump won because a woman ran against him.
No, I totally disagree with that.
Because I think enough people just didn't like Hillary Clinton.
It wasn't because she was a woman. It was because she was a neocon war pig.
Yeah, but well,
she was fake, and they hacked her emails, and she showed it to everyone. At least Trump, you knew he was real. Hillary, the only thing you knew about her is she's lying. I don't know what she's lying about. I just know for a fact she's lying because she emails the opposite thing she says in a speech. And it's like, you don't have to be a highly educated college kid to feel that lack of authenticity. Just like you didn't have to be a college-educated person to be able to feel Trump's authenticity.
No, I agree with that.
So
capture that part.
Bernie might have beat Trump, but as soon as that the DNC stole the nomination from Bernie, they forfeited. Yeah. They forfeited it. They told the Bernie when Julian Assange hacked Hillary's emails and showed them dismissing the Bernie voter.
Well, this goes back.
She threw him away.
You really think there's that many communists in our country?
They aren't. They're not. Well, they're populists. They don't know they're communists. They're young activists that don't have fully formed constitutional stances.
I thought they know they're communists, aren't they? Like, don't they always put the communist dude on?
When I was 20 and when I was 22,
they wear the communist dude on their shirt.
When I was
just because you're a Bernie supporter doesn't make you a communist.
No, but it's when you're 20 and you're half-formed political beliefs that. I mean, it's taken me 10 years to figure out where I'm at, and I don't even know where that is. So it's like looking back at, you want to listen to 2016 Crash Talk, Greg?
Oh, I know.
Trying to explain why Trump's going to win, but I voted for Hillary? Yeah, that's incoherent. Sort of. You're watching a mind evolve.
Right.
I'm figuring it out as I go. I can only discern a lie.
Bernie Sanders thing, I mean, that goes back to the Obama midterm, when he was trying to interject that, so it's just like you're always going to have this. It's like you just said, it's an evolving thing. That's even like politicians. Like I almost hate holding somebody to the standard of, well, 7.5 years ago you said this about abortion or about whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I don't know. I changed my mind.
Okay.
You know, like we've had an election between now and then.
Oh no!
You know, so
if we did a full prediction episode here, Alec, the only thing you got right is Biden's still president. What is your 2024?
Still alive. I think you just thought he would be assassinated by now.
I thought they'd have figured out some way to get him out, and they think they did. They did all the classified docs. They're trying to get him, but he won't yield.
I've been
Team
right,
Hunter.
and I have been right about
Hang
that for
in
a
there.
while.
You want to run a primary? Primary his ass. You know what it looks like. It's going to be bloody. Yeah. Marianne Williamson's the only one on the field right now.
By the way, the Penguins won.
Woo! Ski trip.
Let's be good.
Ski trip. Give me your
eighth grade flashback.
give me your Democrat Republican predictions for leading the nominee. We're going to be going into come this time next year. Once we're going into 2024.
DeSantis versus
we're going to be in week 4. We're going to be Super Tuesday. It's going to be today. This will be Super Tuesday.
Today is a Tuesday.
Not March yet though. So first week of March.
Yeah.
First Tuesday of March is Super Tuesday. That's when the majority of the states vote in each party.
A week from today?
The first Tuesday in March.
Well, that's next month. That's next week.
Yes, because we're Tuesday now on the last day of February. But next year probably won't be that same. It'll probably be March 3rd or 4th.
Wait, are we talking 2023 or 2024?
2024. A year from now.
Okay.
That's when we're going to be in 3 states.
I got you.
The Democrats.
I was like, not in a week.
No, this is important because the Democrats moved their primaries around. The South Carolina is going to lead off.
Okay. So
Republicans are still doing Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, South Carolina. Democrats right now are South Carolina, Georgia, and New Hampshire and Iowa are threatening to pull their delegations if they're not going to get first dibs. Who do you think is going to be the front runner from each party?
I already said DeSantis and Biden.
DeSantis but Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. Okay. Craig? This is tough. Tough right now to put your stakes on this.
I'm pretty confident in this.
I would say DeSantis. I agree with him on DeSantis. I'm just shocked that Joe Biden is he announced he's going to run again?
No.
I don't think
Joe came out on Friday and said he's running. He's running. I'll back he's running. I don't think he's going to make it, but he's running. No, he's not.
I can't believe he's going to run.
He won't back down. He won't back down.
Do you have DeSantis, though, Greg?
No.
You have Trump.
Yeah, I don't think DeSantis is going to be willing to be as aggressive as he needs to be to take out Trump in a long-distance fight. If it was just one-on-one and he could just cue in on one thing, then he'd be fine. But I think he's going. I guess he got endorsed by Jeb Bush, and
Jeb! Exclamation point.
Jeb! Exclamation point.
Okay, hold on.
That's not good.
We need 2 more characters.
He needs
one
to.
from
I
each
guess
of you.
to correct this, he needs to divorce himself from the establishment. The only way he can do that is to break away from Mitch McConnell on his stance towards Ukraine. Unless she's going to step in and say end funding to Ukraine, I want Rick Scott and Marco Stubio to pull their funding from this proxy war that we're fighting.
He's in too deep.
What if we are just protecting biolabs, though?
I think that's what we're doing. Yes.
Okay, well, I need a Democrat candidate from Craig, and I need a Democrat candidate from you too, Greg.
For what?
Michelle.
President?
A year from now. Michelle Obama?
Michelle Obama.
Oh, that's a...
Who would
Michelle
be
Obama,
president?
Donald Trump.
We'll take a 30-1 on her.
Michelle Obama,
Are
Donald
you saying
Trump.
like who would win or like...
Who's going to be front...
Who's front runner?
Who are they going to be talking about
from
at this time next year?
Yeah.
At the end of February, early March, who are they going to be talking
If
about?
Michelle Obama would put her name in, yeah, her, but...
I don't think that's...
that's a 30 to 60 to 1 odds or something.
Throw in
like
darts.
that. Yeah,
Throw in darts. I'm ruling out Gavin Newsom. I'm ruling out Kamala. I'm ruling out Buttigieg. I think maybe...
Nah, do you think Buttigieg is...
He's under special investigation now for his private airplane use.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, he's done.
Wait, what?
He's done. Buttigieg played dress up with the YMCA. He dressed up as a construction man and showed up after Trump did in East Palestine. It's so embarrassing.
But what do you... Investigation for what?
The train thing doesn't bode well for him.
His only job. He doesn't want to do his job.
Yeah.
He's bored with it. He's been flying private he sent his husband to a rugby match in Europe. He went to get an award in Canada. And then he went on air yesterday and said The only reason he took private planes is because it was cheaper than flying coach, which nobody can seem to figure out. Okay, we'll audit him. We just had to spend 6 years going over Trump's finances.
Oh, they're
I'm sure we can
auditing
spend a
him
couple
for it?
minutes. Yeah,
Because they want to see who's letting him fly for
Where's
free.
he won't go to any actual transportation disaster. He has flown 100 times in 2 years. Where is he going and what is he doing?
Oh, this is
the
all on
party of
taxpayer
climate
money.
change. Oh, yeah, we're paying for all of it.
Oh,
And that's why he's justifying the private flying is it was cheaper. So,
Unless somebody's just letting him
maybe
use their
after you
jet.
go through all the like you know
the carbon footprint alone to pay for the gas.
No, but you gotta like pay for the all the extra personnel and the security and stuff.
If he has security with him,
I could actually see that.
If he wants to run for president on this, go ahead, Mayor Pete.
I don't think he'll
go for it. So I take him out, J.B. Pritzker.
This was always his goal. His goal was a cabinet spot. He got it. Boom, done. That's it. So
but I figured him being gay would, in the Democrat Party, would elevate him to like the next spot. Aren't they trying to get a gay president?
No higher than Kamala.
Gay or not gay, you still got to be a good. You still got to be a good politician.
You have to be competent. Yeah, he's not competent.
So, like I think we are.
Neither is Biden. They elected him. Why wouldn't they not? All he has to do is be the gay guy.
Biden really is a foiler in all debates on competency. Whenever you go, this person, John Fetterman, is incompetent.
The Democrats elect.
It's like we just let his wife run the campaign. His wife and kid.
We'll let Fetterman go too.
If you put a Democrat
Poor guy,
in,
don't make fun of him. He's depressed. He used to wear a suit.
If you get him,
he doesn't look good.
If you get him through decent, far, he's gay. That's what they would run him on. It makes sense for their party.
At what point is your gender or your sexual orientation an achievement?
When you became that's how she became vice president.
Stop.
It's what the Democrats do,
Greg. I need a Democratic. We have all our predictions except for your Democratic candidate, Craig, and then we can end the show.
My Democrat candidate. Yeah. I was thinking Pete Buttigieg. I thought he was. No, they're still trying to run that dude from Texas, right? That keeps losing.
Oh, Beta. No,
Beta.
Not Beta.
They're done with Beta.
I'm trying. Let me think of some more quirky candidates for you to maybe get behind. Mark Cuban.
Oh, off this. You think people like that are going to drop in?
This would be in a brokered convention situation where it's a delegate battle. The main nominees would not be the convention nominees. Do you get what I'm saying? Is if you competed in the delegate race. In the primaries.
What Greg's been predicting for the last 3 years now.
And you don't make it's like I've been predicting it wrong
you
every
really
year.
Think
it only
this
happens
happen?
once every 4 years, so I can only predict it once every
You really think this is about to happen?
Every 4 years you predict it.
Once Joe's out, we don't have a front runner. Right now, the Republicans do not have a clean.
Barack Obama wasn't a front runner heading into it.
Neither was Michelle.
No one knew who he was.
Neither is.
No, she is now.
No, she's not in it. She would not get into it until you got.
But she's popular.
We're sitting here talking Pete Buttigieg.
But she's popular.
Kamala
she's
Harris,
somebody
Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmore, Shapiro.
She's somebody you can just put in though.
Sherrod Williams, who's Eric Swalwell, Beto O'Rourke, Jake Gillum, George Clooney.
Do you think Hillary might still give it another shot?
Oh yes,
How old is she now?
My number 2, if it's not Michelle, because Michelle just might not want it. She doesn't.
I think she probably doesn't want it.
I think Hillary wants it. So I give my number 2, Hillary. My number 2, DeSantis. So I'm going most likely Trump versus Michelle. What should happen is DeSantis versus Hillary. Okay. Biden, I'm standing my 2023 prediction. He's not making it the year.
I think
he's not making it the year. It's not happening. We're not a crazy country.
I would vote for Pete Buttigieg over Hillary Clinton. So
that would be an interesting prime. But I think you'd actually vote for Andrew Yang or Vivek Ramaswamy character before you go establishment.
The Yang guy is good. He ran last time.
There's no reason to think you won't get a couple. That's why I said Mark Cuban is when you're going the ideal entrepreneurial candidate that kind of shows they have management skills,
right?
Maybe not governance
skills.
Yeah,
but you think Mark Cuban wants to do that?
If he thinks he can, I ever said the same thing about Trump early in his career. Maybe it might be too early. That's why my thing with DeSantis is I actually think there's still a chance he doesn't run. I know he put out a book. I know he's lost 20 pounds. He's getting in shape. He is a perfect scenario.
Doesn't Cuban sit courtside at all the basketball games?
Yes.
You think he's going to give that up? You think he's going to do that every night while he's president?
He's going to be able to be courtside of every congressional hearing. C-SPAN 1, 2, 3, and 4.
But that's
You have
not
the
as
State
good
of the
as
Union
being at the basketball game.
Oh, you still get invited to the championships of every sport. Only Biden didn't go on Fox to cover the Super Bowl. The president gets to go to every major sporting event they want to.
That'd be a
So
great
Mark
perk.
Cuban would actually get
I'd
an
be at
upgrade.
every sporting event.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You're
doesn't
gonna
Mark
every
Cuban go to
title
them all
match.
anyways?
Yeah, the debate always with Trump is, why do you want this? You have a good life. You get to go to every sporting event and you get to go to every UFC, every Yankee game. You get to go to every NASCAR event and be a star. Why are you going to give this up and have half of the people boo you because of your political beliefs?
Can I borrow your letter, Greg?
That was one of the pitches to support Donald, is that he was willing to make that sacrifice. I think Cuban could make a very similar argument.
But does he want to do that?
I don't
Why would he
know.
wanna do that?
The way he talks, I would say yes. He has a back, but he doesn't want to run. He doesn't want to do a year of primaries, polling every week, having to answer to the likes of Brian Stelter and Don Lemon. No. He's going to want to get in the race late, the same way Michelle will. The same reason Ron DeSantis won't announce he's running, if he is, until the end of summer. It's because there's no value in announcing you're running early because you expose yourself to shots. Right now, Trump did opening salvo calling him a meatball because he gained a little weight. The beauty of that, and why the thing I love about Trump, is he'll make fun of someone like Lion Ted for an attribute that he has for himself. So he calls Ron DeSantis a meatball. He's a meatball. If there's ever been a meatball candidate, it's Donald. He's a little pudgy, not super pudgy, a little red in the face, kind of a funny tan.
I'm down with Mark Cuban. That'd be cool.
But I'm saying is when Trump called Ron DeSantis a meatball, what has Ron done for the past month? He's got himself in super shape. He's taking the card off the table. You're not going to sit here, Donald Trump, and make fun of my appearance. You're the meatball. Meatball Ron. And that's where, in the clip he has, it's not a video interview. He just goes, I'm not going to call him Meatball Ron. I never call him Meatball Ron. But if I did call him Meatball, he just does that thing that keeps going and going and going.
I'm going to sign off.
Meatball Alec.
Because I have to pee and smoke the cigarette.
All right.
So.